So since we're getting started, I think we should take it back a little bit more on your past and your upbringing.
Right.
Can you explain and go into depth a little bit how that was?
I mean, both my parents are Caribbean. Father's from Jamaica, mother from Barbados, both immigrants. Both came to this country, worked their ass off, showed me what it was to be able to do anything that you put your mind to. I grew up in New York, moved to Georgia when I was 10 years old, got into football, got into sports. Because in New York, we were just outside. I was an outside kid. When I got to Georgia, the South, football became huge for me. So I took that and I just ran with it, played high school, played college, got into the league. Then I got into, security, everybody knows me for now. So man, my background really from a kid has always been an entrepreneur.
All right, that's great to hear. And at what age do you think it all started?
What sports?
The entrepreneur mindset.
I would probably say 9.
9 years old?
9 years old, my brother. When I tell you, I was 9 years old, I was playing football, I was cutting grass, I was cleaning dishes, I was putting together basketball hoops for my friends just to make money. Because again, it's like when your parents come from an island, you see that they do small jobs. So it kind of, not every child is the same, but you take what you want to take, and you learn what you want to learn, and you put it to life.
Well, I wanted to touch a little bit more on your youth. I touched a little bit about your upbringing and your parents.
Yeah.
What were your parents like?
Well, my father passed away, but it's a funny story. I used to be scared of my dad. My dad, to me, was the meanest son of a gun you will ever meet. He had the coldest stare down. I remember one time he called me, and I could see his face. Like, my throat got so dry, I was like, yes, sir. He used to always get shit out of me. I don't know if you see my language, he used to get shit out of me, man. My mom, she was hard on me as well. Like I said, coming from a small island, you don't have a lot. So when you have children, you want them to do the best. You want them to become the best. So, growing up, was it tough? It was. I'm not gonna lie, it was, but it made me who I am today.
Okay.
And that tough upbringing and your life as an athlete, how do you think that's transferred into the business world?
Easy. Because again, playing football, you're getting hit by the biggest guys, or you're hitting the biggest guys, breaking bones, concussions. If you can go through that, business world ain't shit. Because again, it translates into the business world. The business world has more paperwork and more lawyers, more people coming at you on the legality side. So it's like you take the toughness, the physical side to it, and you turn it into a mental side, which is business. Business is it's a mental thing. That's one thing I've been learning. It's a mental draining process, but you got to be strong.
Right, and it's the position that you play as well. CEO, and I guess your job right now is building a team.
Correct.
How important is having, I guess, a great foundation and a good team?
It's to make it break you. If you have 5 good people, 1 bad person, it's a wrap. Your company's not where you are. Because your team goes off of vibes. Just like you two sitting here. If you two are having a bad day and you guys get on this podcast and you're trying to interview somebody, it's not going to work. Because you're probably thinking about what he did to you. He's thinking about, so I'm telling you, it's a spiritual thing, it's a vibe thing. Everybody has to be equally yoked, bro. Like, if not, it's not going to work. Something is bound to fail.
Yeah, like in every team I've been on, they said you're only as strong as your weakest link. So what would you think is the main thing that causes them to fail and then not get to where they want to be as a team?
I put it like this. I always think of a team like an engine. Everybody's different. You have the cylinders, you have the heads, you have the cam, you have the lifters, you have the fuel.
Everyone has a job, right?
Exactly. Everybody's not the same. But if they're not doing what they're doing, that steam, that boat, whatever you want to call it, it's not going to move. And one thing I noticed, when it comes to business, everybody wants to be the CEO. Everybody wants to be a chief. Everybody wants to be the CFO. And that's the problem. When you're putting a team together, you need to put a team together by position. Not by friends, not by your cool, not by how you look. It's about what are you really good at? We go at so wrong. That's why a lot of friendships don't last when it comes to business. That's why family don't work with business. Because you're just picking them because you know them. You're not picking them for your strength or your weakness. You just pick them because you know them.
Right.
So that's one of the biggest things. Like you have to learn how to choose your team. Power forward, center, guard, shooting guard. That's why they have positions.
Sure.
Well, yeah, you've had to make a big team in the past couple months with your app growing. What do you say within these past couple months you've had to pick up with being a leader and stepping into a bigger role as a leader?
Honestly, it's a lot. So, like when I play football, right? You have the quarterback. He's the general of the offense. You have the safety. He's the general of the defense. You have to know everybody else's position as a quarterback. If they mess up, you have to know why they messed up. You have to take accountability for it. So the same for me, it's like being a CEO or the founder. I have to know every single thing. Even if I bring a lawyer on, I got to know what he knows. And that's not even my world. Because if you create a product, that's your baby. You cannot let anybody destroy your company or your baby. I don't care how smart they are at the wits. I don't care if it's the guy who designed the parking lot. You better know how to pave. You dig what I'm saying? You have to know every single thing. So nobody can ever take it away from you. Nobody can ever play you. That's where I'm at. I'm learning every single thing about tech. I know everything about security, but I'm still learning what it is, legality, the paperwork, what that word means, why there are certain paperwork that have to be put in place, why we have to go this route. I have to know every single thing. You gotta be a gentleman, bro. It's more than just being a CEO. You gotta know what your product is. If you don't, somebody can steal it.
No, I agree with you there. What would you say causes, I guess, a lot of entrepreneurs nowadays to fail?
Because they don't know their why. A lot of entrepreneurs are getting into the game of, I want to do a business. That's not what
They have a great idea.
That's not what entrepreneur is, bro. Hell no. A little girl who made something with, like a lemonade, she just came up with a product. Yeah, that's a business. Would you consider her an entrepreneur? Yes, you would, because she created a business and she stuck with her business. But here's the thing though, entrepreneur, you have entrepreneurs and you have serial entrepreneurs. Entrepreneur just means I don't want to work for you. I work for myself. You still work for somebody. Entrepreneurs still work for people.
Right.
You have your own business, you have clients, you work for that client. You have to work in order to feed yourself, to pay your bills, make sure your company grows. You're always going to be working. The biggest difference about an entrepreneur, you're taking the risk. That's what an entrepreneur does. They take the risk.
Right.
You have W-2s, you have 1099s. Which one do you guys want to be?
Right. I think touching on what you just said now, I think a lot of people, they get confused with the literal definition of entrepreneur. They go selling hats or selling hamburgers and they think that they're entrepreneurs already, when in reality an entrepreneur is more of an operator and managing people and building the team. Would you say that's correct?
True. I'm going to give you a crazy example of what an entrepreneur is, right?
Mm-hmm.
I go start up a lawn care business, right? I do it for 6 months. I go start up a food truck. Do it for 2 months. All right, I'm gonna go over here and start selling cars. Then I'm gonna go over here and start selling T-shirts. Then I'm gonna go over here and start training kids how to fight. That's an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is not one business. An entrepreneur is when you could take multiple strings and make them all work.
I see.
And you now have an overview over everything.
Yeah.
So to me, that's what an entrepreneur is. Because I know a lot of entrepreneurs, they have like 20 businesses. None one of them are the same exact thing. These people can sit back and have 20 businesses and say exactly how every one of them works. That's an entrepreneur. That's when you can use all your gifts and all your talents at one time. Like, you know, to me and my friend, I'm the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, no, I've done every type of job there is. I can go and cut grass and teach you how to fight at the same time.
You're a real hustler.
Man, what? I can show you some things. Hey, Ron. I can show you some things, brother.
Oh, that's great, man.
And as you strive to become a serial entrepreneur and you use all your talents and you're trying to use them all at once, what would you say like the best way to balance them and find that middle ground and not trying to do too much at once?
The best way to balance them is not to balance them. It's not your job. Your job is to go and do it. They will balance you. They will balance itself out, bro. Entrepreneur, you get into a game, you don't know what the hell you're doing. You're just confident enough to do it. That's what an entrepreneur is. You don't know what the hell you're doing. You really think when I said, all right, I'm gonna do that. Oh yeah, I know what I'm doing. Man, no. I was just tired of seeing people getting taken advantage of. And I said, I'm gonna take a leap of faith. And that's what an entrepreneur is, bro. Like, that's a huge risk. Whether or not you know where your next meal is coming from, whether or not you're going to get a paycheck next week or next month. That's what it really is. What we were talking about earlier. Who's the real Aaron? Who's the real Alex? Where do you guys come from? If your parents grew up poor, you already have that in you. God already put that in you. You are already supposed to make it because God gave you the disadvantage. That's how you know you're a true hustler. That's why you see all these boxers, these athletes, these football players, these musicians, they come from dirt, but now they're super rich. And people see the results. They don't know where they come from because you don't show where you come from, you show them the results. So when you're growing up like that, you have no choice but to say, I gotta make it out. If you were born poor, do you want to stay in the shack?
Hell no.
No.
Okay, so something inside of you automatically fights. You see what I'm saying? That's the biggest difference. You have some people who are born rich that still have a fighting in them, which is crazy. That's a rarity. That's a huge rarity. But for people like us that come from parents that are immigrants, we are already born with it. So it's not something that, when I was 19 I realized. No, you're born with it. It's whether you use it or not. You understand what I'm saying? So if you're born poor, some people stay there. They're like, no, I'm just about government.
Yeah. And would you say that for some people, I guess the reasons of them becoming poor or being poor, growing up poor, is kind of because of a lack of, I guess the word I'm looking for is a lack of experience or a lack of seeing things in the world?
I mean, honestly, bro, I like that question because it's many different answers. It's a lack of resources, lack of motivation, nobody reached them, lack of self-motivation. You dig what I'm saying? So it's many different reasons why people who are born, let's say born in the ghetto, born in the hood, or born in Mexico, born in Africa, you're born there. You won't change because your family won't change. You've never seen change. So how do you know what change is when you never see it? There are some kids who see change like on YouTube, watching motivation videos, or that have access to Instagram, and they see these guys and these things. It's something that just sparks. So it's about right timing, but I really truly believe it's whatever's inside of you. If you want to get out of the hood, you're gonna find a way. That's like me if I throw you in the pool, and I'm dunking your head in the pool. Are you just gonna sit there and just drown?
You're gonna swim.
Oh, okay, exactly. So really, it's in you, bro. If you want to get out, trust me, you're gonna find a way to ask questions how to get out. Because again, where I started from, when I was born, man, I think our first house, man, we was sleeping in the basement of church. My mom was working for the church. Can you imagine waking up on a pew?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So it's like coming from that to where I'm at now. I mean, you still struggling, you still fight, you still doing what you gotta do. But I'm just saying, I was born with it, bro. And we're all born with something to strive after. It all depends on you. If you're born rich, you don't have to worry about it. You worry about your things, man, this and that. You're not gonna strive for nothing. But again, bro, it's up to you. Do you have that drive? Do you have that why?
And do you think that any kid with that drive will make it out? Let me elaborate. Would you say that hard work beats talent?
Well, yeah, because they said that's what Jordan had. LeBron had the talent. Jordan had the hard work. Because if you compare them when they were younger, LeBron was just gifted. Jordan wasn't. LeBron didn't have a problem making his basketball team. Jordan did. That's what they say. There was something in him that said, no, I got to keep going. I got to become the greatest. So that's why a lot of people say, well, LeBron will never touch Jordan because of Jordan's work ethic.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So, do I agree? Yeah.
Hard work beats talent.
Oh, yeah, I agree. It just depends how talented you are.
Yeah.
Realistically, it depends how talented you are, how far you take it out. But that's a very true statement.
There's always going to be a hungrier fish.
You know what I'm
And there's always going to be a bigger fish.
Yeah.
So.
Definitely.
I wanted to touch up a little bit about the BLACKWOLF. What is the BLACKWOLF?
Oh man, it's just some small thing I created. No, I'm playing. Man, I mean, so the vision on that, how that came about was child trafficking.
Okay.
How it first started was I wanted to create my own bus line for children. I got tired of seeing kids getting kidnapped, even women being caught in sex trafficking. So I wanted to create my own solution of a bus transportation. I brought it to my guy Jason, and he looked at me. He goes, "You're retarded. You're crazy. You're not going to make a bus transportation. You cannot compete with the yellow school bus." I was like, "Okay, all right. Well, what if I make the magic school bus?" He's like, "You're retarded." So what I did was he gave me some things to think about. I said, "Okay, let me think about this." While I was doing that, I was transporting a young lady to school. Her mother was caught in sex trafficking for 2 years, and this young lady was born out of that sex trafficking. And I used to just watch her every single day. She was so scared to walk. One day, I was with the mother, and she was walking home from school, and a van approached her, and they were about to kidnap her.
A man approached the little girl.
The little girl, yes, because I was with the mom at the time. The little girl had practice. She was doing cheerleading, and I wasn't there on time because I was with the mom. We were going to go get her. The little girl was walking home, and we saw that. That's when something clicked. I said, "Okay, I have to make something where if I can't reach her, she can reach me." And then that's how the app came into play. I went home. I created a whole presentation of why the statistics of kidnapping, raping, human trafficking, the amount of money that they make per year, the locations. And he looked at me, he goes, "You're on to something. But you can make something where it's accessible to all people." That's what it was. When he said that keyword, I said, "Holy shit, target mushrooms. I gotta come up with something." I went home, started Googling, the app came about. I said, "But how can I create an app?" And I told myself, "I can't do this." I literally threw my computer, I can't do it. But then that entrepreneur was like, no.
You got it on the way.
Yeah, you can come from this, you can make that. And I did my research, man, and I figured out how to create the app and started reaching out to people who do tech. And the app was formed within 45 minutes of me on my computer, just research it. And then I found a guy who could actually do it, 45 minutes. Then it obviously took a month for everything to be created.
Okay.
But again, the app was created and formed in 45 minutes.
The consultation, you kind of share with him your ideas.
45 minutes. And the guy, when I told him, he said, "You're going to be famous one day." I said, "Really? You think so?" He was like, "I've never seen this, I've never heard of this." He goes, "You're going to be famous one day."
And this guy probably makes apps for
He
everybody.
does.
That's what he does for a living?
That's what he does for a living. But he said, "I've never seen anything like this before." He goes, "I've seen some crazy stuff, but not like this." He goes, "I don't know who you are. I don't know how serious you are. But he goes, if you are, you're gonna be famous. You're gonna solve a problem." I
That's
said,
great.
"Cool." And 45 minutes later, he took all my information. A month later, he gave me back the product. And I'm still working on it. Of course, I'm making a new one in February. We're coming with a whole new IP, everything. Everything's gonna look totally different. Again, this is my first month, my first year, so I'm still learning. But again, the app was designed to not only be the gatekeeper of sex trafficking, child abduction, but then it turned into security and safety for all riders.
Okay.
But we see all these things happening with all these other ride shares.
Right.
I wanted to stop that. How can I do that? So that was the initial beginning of it. Then it turned into more. Now it has a security side to it where not only actors, athletes, politicians, but a regular everyday person can say, "I'm gonna go to the mall, but I live in a bad area." Oh,
I live in Chicago. I live in...
let me call the BLACKWOLF.
There you go.
Because now the drivers are able to walk into these stores with them and protect them. And of course, whoever's driving is an agent, they're licensed, they're insured, and they're legally able to do that.
Right.
We're going to have professional chauffeur drivers. They're going to have the security side to it. So it's a two-piece tech.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's the first of its kind, and and we're only in a third month right now.
Right. No, y'all have blown up in the span of months. Congratulations on that.
And we still going. Still
So
going.
you had your app developer. He believed in you from the beginning. He said, "Oh, you're gonna be famous." He did. So he's the one that also said, "Oh, you're dumb" as well. He said.
He didn't really believe it, right? As I was talking to him, he was like, "You taking notes?" Yeah, all right. He goes, "Well, how serious do you think this is gonna?" He goes, "Do you really think this is really gonna happen?" I said, "I do." He said, "Wow, it's probably gonna take a lot." Even though he could develop it, he didn't believe it. He didn't believe it until he saw maybe the third Fox News. He called me. He goes,
We saw the numbers.
"Yeah." He's like, "Yo, you did it."
Yeah.
Because he went into the dispatch and was like, "Yo, you got over 100,000 people. It's only like 2 weeks." I'm like, "You know what I'm saying?" You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's so easy for people to hop on the train once they actually see the proof, but when you start with such a big vision and you're the only one that can see it and you're trying to do something that's the first, like you said, never been done before, like how do you deal with the doubt and maybe even your family doubting you, close friends, like how do you deal with all that?
Well, again, as an entrepreneur, you're supposed to be doubted. Whenever you come up with something new, you're supposed to be doubted. Whenever God gives you a vision and a gift, you're supposed to be doubted. Because again, whatever He gives to you, He's not giving it to somebody else. He's giving it to you for a reason. So, any new business that rubs shoulders with people who are already in that industry, but yours is just a little bit better, they're not going to like it because you start to step on their toes. The thing about it is, it's a natural resource to help. But we live in a country where you help a little bit too much, it's like, who do you think you are? You understand what I'm saying? And on top of that, I'm dark skinned. You know what I'm saying? And I'm in an industry where a lot of us don't really get a lot of respect. Understand what I'm saying? And these are just facts. These are not me talking about it, these are facts. Understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, when you have a gift and a purpose and a why, dude, you gotta, like, I took a leap of faith. Did I know this was gonna be hard? Did I know I was gonna get any backlash? No. I thought it wasn't gonna hard. I mean, 90% do. But those who see it as a potential threat, oh man, I've been called all type of names, bro. All type of names. I've gotten letters from the state and all type of stuff. So, you know, it is what it is, man. That's an entrepreneur.
And I think the hate as well, I mean, as much as it sucks reading, it's still another view. It's still putting you on the Explore page, and whether it's a good or a bad comment, I mean, it's engagement, right?
It's the helping me, to be honest with you, bro.
And when did you take off? When did you guys launch?
Man, honestly, I think it was like in May, the end of May. Yeah, it was like the end of May. I remember when we did the first video. It took me like 20 times. It took me like 20 times to do the first video. And I freestyle everything, right? So me and my guy PK, he goes, all right, KB, you got your Rolls Royce. Let's do this. All right, cool, whatever. And he was like, walk around the car, and I'm gonna say, hey, is this your car? And you're gonna say, yes. I'm like, no. He goes, bro, yes. I said, all right, let's do it. Walked around, and I freestyled it. I didn't know what to say. He just says, go just freestyle. I'm like, yeah. So he started asking me questions, and I was just answering them naturally. And he was like, I think you got it, bro. I'm like, all right, cool. We did maybe like 12 other videos. I had a Mercedes. We had a Lamborghini Urus. I had all type of cars. He hasn't even posted it yet, right? But it was something special about that video me and him did. He then tells me after we're done, hey, I'm gonna create a TikTok. No, he asked me. I'm like, man, I'm not creating a damn TikTok. I don't like TikTok. He goes, dude, we're gonna go viral, bro. I'm like, yeah, all right, whatever. Now me being me, I'm like, I don't listen to him. But I ended up going home, created TikTok around 9:45. At midnight, he goes, I'm gonna post a video. Sure, whatever. That morning around 7 o'clock, he calls me, bro, we went viral. So what do you mean? He goes, dude, check the TikTok. So I got on TikTok, so 7 million views. I said, man, I'm gonna holler at you at 9 o'clock. Woke up at 9 o'clock, it was like 12 million. I was like, and the next thing you know, I got a phone call from Fox, Yahoo, Fox 5, CNN, MSNBC. I made the Forbes list. I made another list where I have the fastest growing rideshare ever in history. I outbeat Uber and Lyft.
Congratulations.
In 3 days. I skipped over everybody and I was third behind Uber and Lyft. I don't know how I did that. They were like, you own the fastest growing tech company ever, bro. They said, you're the only tech company that has ever had this much controversy, this much media attention.
What advice do you have to the other entrepreneurs who are trying to create their own app in the marketplace?
I have a lot, but I think the biggest thing is,
For those starting out.
don't be afraid, bro. Like, if it's a passion, if it's something you want to do, go after it. Don't be afraid of negative remarks. Don't be afraid to fail, bro. a lot of people don't know what a lot of people don't know what the word perfect means. Like, do you know what the word perfect means?
100%.
No. Do you know what the word perfect means?
Without any error?
No. Perfect simply means trying.
Is that so?
That's the truth. Perfect means trying.
As long as you're trying.
There you go. Don't ever be
You're doing something right.
Don't ever be afraid. Because when you fail, what does that mean? You're trying. There's 100 million people that's never failed because they never tried. So the thing about it is, if you're gonna get into this game, understand something. You have to fail. That means you have to try. Failure is not. It's not a negative thing. It just means, okay, we're trying. Try something different. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like it's very simple. You guys dated a girl, didn't work out. You tried. Doesn't mean you're a failure. You tried. Perfect. That's my motto. Hey, trust me, you could be perfect. Perfect just means you're trying. So again, at the end of the day, I want entrepreneurs to understand something. Fail. Do it. Fail. Fail, fail, fail. Because your ass is going to become perfect one day. And you're going to be continuing to be perfect. That means you're going to continue to keep trying every single day.
Well, even with all the obstacles that Black Wolf is going through right now with all the legal stuff in Georgia, I mean, as long as you keep trying, I feel like you'll get to where you want to be. What's your goals for the next year, your top 3 goals for Black Wolf?
Oh man, my top 3 goals for Black Wolf is to be at least 5 cities running strong, have major private contracts, and I would say my 3rd goal is to have a residence in each state. So when I go in, I can check up on the drivers, I can see how everything's going, and I also want to be international. I've been in talks with the Roy family of Qatar, the Al-Thani family. We've been speaking to Dubai, even the Caribbean islands. You know, and again, that's just the Black Wolf app. I'm actually creating another one, which I think is probably going to outdo the Black Wolf app. But again, I don't know how big the Black Wolf app is might be. So it's like I'm competing with myself. And I'm gonna keep trying. I'm gonna keep being perfect. I'm gonna keep trying. So those are my goals. And obviously, a lot of people ask me, will I ever sell Black Wolf? No, because I am Black Wolf, and I can't sell myself. Will I ever sell the idea? Yeah, but I'll forever be Black Wolf. I'll forever own Black Wolf. Nobody will be able to buy that. So to the day that I die, people will be like, oh, you're the Black Wolf guy. And it's not because you're black. You know, so those are my goals. So ultimate goal, I used to tell people I want to be a billionaire. Nah, bro. I will be the greatest example. I want to be wealthy enough to be able to travel and reach people who I've never seen before, encourage them, motivate them, do something for them. My thing is this, now people tell you, I want to motivate people. No, I really want to motivate you. Like, I would love to go into Jamaica, where my father's from, and literally build a home for a family, build a neighborhood for free. That's helping. Words are words. Action is totally different. Like, that's my end game. Build the app up, make enough money. Somebody says, hey, I'll give you $2 billion. I hear 4. And sell it and go do what God called me to do, man. You know, because like I said, this app is something that God said, this is how you can take care of your families. This is how you can take care of generations. But that's not my end goal. That's not my end goal. Money changes financial situations. That's all it does. That's all money does. It changes financial situations, not your soul. You dig? So, that's my aim. That's what KB wants to do. You know, I want all the Lamborghinis. I'm a Lambo guy. I want a Lambo in every single state. You know, I'm gonna drive until I'm like 80 years old.
Those are good goals.
Still racing people.
Hey,
you know, what I'm saying? Me, my old partners, when we 80, we still gonna be running and gunning, racing. Just want to have fun, man. But again, you know, serve God until the day that I die, and really, really be an example to people, but by action, not by word.
So you say you want to be the greatest example. Who would you say your greatest example was?
You know what's funny? That's a question nobody's ever asked me. That's something I really got to think about, dude. I don't have an answer to that, because I can tell you it could be God's word. I could tell you it could be my father before he died. Matter of fact, I got an answer. I got a cold ass answer. But I don't know if you gonna understand what I'm saying. The greatest example to me are the greatest words ever spoke.
Elaborate on that, could you?
It's cold, ain't it?
It's a good one. It took me a minute to think about.
Cold, ain't it? It's deep, it's deep. What I mean by that is, I've gotten great examples by great men and women throughout life that I've never even met. My mom has said some great things, the Bible has said some great things, Christ. Those to me are the greatest examples, the words that people have spoken and actions that they have done. So being the greatest example, you're not going to learn from one person. It's from multiple things, multiple different things, even different religions. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what I would say, to me it is. The greatest words ever spoken. Those are my greatest examples. Because that's how we learn. If I tell you something, you're like, yo, that's great wisdom. You just learned something. That's just from me. Your mom can say something, you're like, yo, I just learned something. So these are just words and actions. The greatest advice, I'm gonna go deep with this. The greatest advice I could give to a young entrepreneur, that's what you're saying?
Younger generation, young entrepreneur.
The younger generation?
Yes, sir.
The kids that you see that are lost and have no one to turn to.
Once you figure out your why, that's when the doors start opening. I wish the younger generation would really figure out like who they really are. A lot of us don't figure out who we are until we're in a death situation. Some people, go through trauma and they say, God, if you give me one chance, I'll change. I really do believe that the younger generation has to come to a complete stop, refocus, figure out who they are. Like, why were you born? Everybody has a reason as to why they were born. If you don't know that, you're gonna die with everything that was in you. I'll give you an example. If you died and walked to God and he had a list and he goes, Aaron, you were a great author, you had 7 gyms, you had 3 ranches, you had 7 different companies, you were a billionaire. You're like, I didn't do none of that. Exactly, that's what you're supposed to be. You're just like, dang. The greatest gifts and the most talents are in the graveyard. People die with all their gifts and talents. That's the problem. Nobody knows their gifts and talents. We're taught to work for somebody else. That's why I said, if I had to give advice, figure out who you are, figure out your why. Like, it's never too late. I just don't want this younger generation to go to the grave with everything that God said that they were supposed to do. That is the biggest thing. Whether you're religious or not, figure it out. Ask questions. The more questions you ask, God will reveal it. Just like in football, he revealed to me a lot of stuff about me. I'm like, oh wow. So from football, I was training people who had torn hamstrings. I didn't know nothing about repairing a hamstring, but through football, I just kept being persistent. I learned and learned and learned. So I think that's my biggest advice. Don't be afraid to fail actually, and figure out your why. Once you figure out your why, when, who, and what will become so easy to you, bro. So easy, bro.
Good. Well, Kerry King Brown, everybody, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Easy.
Uh-oh. That was good, bro. Hey, appreciate you.
What is first? Okay. You look numbers at first.
Maybe like the first minute.
Yeah, I can tell.
I got my first question out of the net.